when I lived with my old roommate, I was taking her to work one day, and we literally saw a person with one of the walking canes holding someone that was blind, and she was like, talk about the blind leading the blind. Huh? All right, Mijo, get in.
What the f*** do you want?
Huggy, come on, get in.
All right, I'm here.
All right, check it out.
Shh. This stays in this room, it doesn't leave these doors. Close that shit, let's get to the report. There's nothing that we don't ignore. No. Yep, refresh the page to get the contrast. Check this out on the road or in a bubble bath. Take your brain down a weird path. This stays in this room podcast.
Creed 2, that just reminded me. The trailer for Creed 2 just dropped.
Oh.
And it's coming out this Thanksgiving. I really want to see that, though.
Yeah, that's dope.
Dude, everyone's fucking blowing me up right now.
Who's blowing you up?
Ice, this new girl, and my brother.
About what?
Work, we're flirting, and then my brother just wants to know stuff about my life.
Oh. Yeah, let me go ahead and... So, this is episode 58.
59.
No, this is episode 58.
We uploaded 58 last week. Or 2 weeks ago. Mental Health Matters. That was 58. Whatever. This is a new episode.
Well, last week we had to skip an episode because I fucked it up because...
We all messed up.
I was being an asshole. And so, to the person I was being an asshole to, I'm sorry. I don't even know
apologize.
you, but I'm sorry.
I apologized a lot, too. So, yeah.
We're going to get this thing figured out to where we're not being mean to people. Sometimes I just say...
Or we need to grow up a little bit instead of just being dummies.
Yeah, but sorry to you that we're offended. But I have an interesting story that I need to share.
Yes.
Because it's been weighing on me, and I don't know. So I went live on our Instagram a few days ago. If you don't follow the Instagram, you should. We go live a lot and do stupid shit.
You shaved your head last night on it.
I did. I shaved. Well, it's not a shave really. It's just
you took off like 3 inches.
I took off a lot. It scared me. But yeah, we'll talk about that later. So to get to the story, I saw a business here in Portland get robbed this week, and that was that on Monday?
I think it was Wednesday.
Was it Wednesday?
It was like midweek because you weren't in any rush because it was like a Wednesday.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't a Monday.
It wasn't Monday or Tuesday because those are our busy days.
So I think it was Wednesday. Saw a business get robbed. So what I do every morning is I have like a 10-minute walk to the train station, or it's our public transit station, and it takes me straight to work. So I'm walking to the train stop, and I have my headphones in, and I hear out of my headphones, I hear someone yelling for help. Help! And so I'm like, what the hell? And so I look over, and this lady is like jumping up and down, like trying to get anybody's attention, like, help me. And so the first thing that I think, naturally, I was like, oh shit, like someone's like having a heart attack or something, like I need to call 911. And so while I'm looking at her, she's standing outside of what I assume is her store, since she was yelling for help. And there's another lady holding a door open for a guy, and he's like carrying out what looked like a power washer or like a generator or something. It was heavy. He was like using both hands and like waddling it out to his car or his stolen car.
Those things are like 100 pounds, 80 pounds.
I think it was a power washer because the company was called Solder and Spray Equipment. Mm-hmm. So it would make sense for it to be a power washer. And so I realized like, oh shit, this lady's getting jacked right now. And so
he is too.
So my immediate like fight or flight kicks in, and the first thing that kicked in was fight. So I took off running towards the car, towards the lady to like help.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh shit. It's like that perfect movie moment that like you wait for. You're like, oh shit, like I've been in the gym, like I'm about to fuck this dude up because he's robbing this lady. And so by the time it's about I'm bad at estimating like distance, but it's about, how many yards would you say? You don't even know.
I don't know where you were.
I would say it's like 40 to 50 yards. That's like half of a football field, right?
I ran under a 4.
No. No, so I would say it was about 40 yards
From the
away.
light to the...
From where I was at walking to where this event was taking place.
I don't know where you were, but I mean,
Okay,
that
well,
block...
I'm telling you.
But that block is only like 40 yards. 50.
That's what I just said, 40 to 50, you idiot. And so by the time I get to the actual car, the guy has already loaded, because, I mean, he's moving as fast as he can, like with a power washer, you know. He's already got it loaded in his car. He's in the driver's seat, and the lady that he's with is very eerily and casually walking around. Like, I'm in a sprint, and she's walking, like, not in a hurry at all. And she gives me this look, like,
don't do it.
Don't fucking do it. And it shook me, dude, because I was like, what are you gonna do, lady?
I'm a grown man.
Yeah, I was like, I'm running full speed at you. I'm 210 pounds. You're just this late, like, I could fucking lay your ass out. You know what I'm saying? And she was not scared. And that scared me. So like by the time I got to the car, then the flight kicks in. Because I'm like, this lady's not scared of me. One, she's a black belt or some shit. Or two, they've got a weapon of some kind.
Yeah, a knife.
So I get to the car.
What if they just like pepper sprayed you?
Oh God, that would be even worse. I'd almost rather get shot. Pepper spray. No, I'm just kidding.
Funny. Well, I was watching an interview with Johnny Knoxville, and they're like, "What would you rather get hit by, like pellet guns?"
He said pepper spray is the worst.
He's like, "Pepper spray is the worst."
Yeah, no, I can believe that. The shit.
But continue.
Just even thinking about it.
So flight.
The look in this lady's eyes of just like the sheer lack of fear.
Yeah.
It fucking shook me. And so like by the time I got there, she was like getting in her car and like about to close the door, and I had enough time to like grab like the back
Take
door
a picture,
because
you always carry your phone because you're listening to music,
so
right?
My phone is in my pocket. I was listening to music, you know what I'm saying? And so like I'm running. I'm not like, and I have my backpack on, full of my like shit,
laptop.
And so I get there. I had enough time to like grab the door and open it, but that like flight kicked in, and I was like, this lady's not scared of you. One, like I said, she knows how to fucking fight. Or two, they've got a weapon and they're just not fucking scared. So I was like, I'm not ready to risk my life for a $200, $300 power washer. That's not even mine.
Yeah.
And so the second thing I think is like, okay, I'm not opening that door. What can I do? So I walk around to the back of the car. I was like, shit, okay, I'm going to memorize the license plate and the make and model of the car. So I was like, okay, that's helpful. So I walk around to the back of the car, or like I jog around to the back of the car, and there's no plates. And by this time, they're already in the engines. They're started the engine up. And so I'm like, okay, what can I memorize? And it was a maroon Saturn with no plates. And it's like they bought it at like a used dealership because it had like the paper plate up in the top, but it was wrinkled over. Like it was all fucked up. So I couldn't even see the numbers. So they pulled off. There's Phil. I'm telling my story about getting robbed.
Oh.
Or not me getting robbed, the Rob story.
Rob who?
The Rob Stone. The company that I saw get robbed that I was telling you about earlier this week. Yeah.
Well, I can come back.
Did you need us? What did you need? We can
Um,
pause.
Pick a number between 1 and 10.
Pick a number between 1 and 10?
Yeah.
Oh, this is on film too.
That's all right.
2.
Mijo?
8.
Technically, you're closer, Clay, so here you go.
Okay. Let's see what this is.
Wyoming.
Oh, shit.
Damn it.
Dope. Thanks. Okay, Phil, do you want to...
What number was it?
4.
4?
You should have had me write that number down, by the way. like when you do that game with someone, just like the me should write down the numbers 4, because you picked 8 and he picked 2, so he's 2 numbers away. You're 4 numbers away.
Damn.
And that is why you don't have a Kanye hoodie.
Well, plus I already gave one to Lo and to Ice.
Oh my god.
just where you are in the building at the time.
Oh,
I
man.
was just like, oh, okay.
No,
okay.
thank you.
Yeah,
I'm going to tell, on behalf of this is going to segue in. I'm going to tell your story the way you told it. Or unless you want to tell it.
Yeah, well, I'll tell it.
You want to tell it? All right, that mic is already potted up.
Well, hold on. Let me go get my thing. I'll be right back.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
No, it's awesome.
Oh.
I'll get you.
So, yeah.
Just got a Kanye hoodie.
Got a Kanye
Is my
hoodie.
camera still rolling?
Yeah, your camera's still rolling. It sees your sadness.
Damn.
But hold on, a lot's happening right now. For one, he came in here and I thought we were in trouble.
Yeah.
I was like,
so that's if you caught that on my camera, that's our boss.
I don't think it was on camera.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't think you ever got in the frame of the camera. But yeah, that was our boss. That was Phil Becker. He's the VP. He's the whole
We've
VP
talked about it.
of Alpha Media. Yeah,
Yeah.
we talked about him before. But he got to go to the Kanye listening party in Wyoming, and that's where that dope hoodie's from. I'm gonna flex that thing on IG, son. I'm gonna act like I was there.
Just Photoshop yourself next to Kim Kardashian.
Yeah. But did I finish the story where I leave
You
off?
dumped Holly. But you
Dump Holly for Kim? I don't know, man.
I don't know. Kim's a lot richer. A lot richer.
She is. But anyway, did I finish the story? Okay, so I get there.
You said it was wrinkled up, so
yeah,
they
was
had it
wrinkled up.
planned.
So I told them what kind of car it was. If you're in the Portland area and you own a,
Was the car like beat up? Like, did it look beat up?
It was not in like the best shape, but I mean, there wasn't like any like scratches or anything.
No
And
bumpers
so-
coming off.
No bumpers coming off, but you have to remember this all happened in
Like a
a
span of-
matter of
2 minutes.
not even. It was less than a minute, dude. Because I mean, you think about it. If you're stealing something, like this happened in under 30 seconds, I guarantee you. And so
You did not sprint 40 yards and do all of that in 30 seconds.
why? Think about how quick that happens.
I guess. I don't know.
I mean, I'm
wasn't there.
really trying not to exaggerate. I think it was like 30 to 45 seconds.
Okay.
And so my mind, like after that happened, like it kind of shook me up. And
Yo, you walked into work looking like you saw a ghost.
No,
and you
it's-
don't like ghosts. So I was
I
like,
fucking hate ghosts.
I'm concerned.
No, but seriously, it fucked me. It's not like I got a gun pulled on me or anything like that. It was just like the thought of like, I could have opened that door and like tried to drag that thing out without knowing any of the story, you know?
Yeah.
Because I don't know their story, you know? But yeah, it fucked me up because like I was going through all the scenarios, come on in, and one of those scenarios could have involved me dying. You know what I'm saying? And that's just kind of like what's been messing with me a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's your life. Moral of the story: your life's not worth a power washer. If you see somebody getting robbed, do what you can, as long as you're staying safe. Hold on, I'm gonna get your. We got Phil Becker in the building.
Do you want to be on film?
You wanna be on film?
I don't care. Yeah, sure.
Cool, I'll get your thing.
I'm not
Tell your-
worried about that.
Tell your Kanye story.
I had to text somebody a emoji with a gun, a squirt gun to their head,
Uh
because I don't want to hear about your 5 Seconds of Summer song.
oh. You sent that to like a label?
Yeah, she's like, hey, new 5 Seconds of Summer, this looks really real. We're looking at all this data, da 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 da. And all I sent back was an emoji of a frown with the squirt gun against the head.
Please no.
Is there a real gun emoji?
There
No,
used to be a real gun emoji.
they took it away.
And they took it down. So now it's a squirt gun emoji.
Smart move.
I mean, same thing.
But you know what's funny is there's still a knife. There's still a bomb.
Yeah.
There's chains.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of Christian Grey message are you texting somebody that you need chains and a chains emoji?
True.
No. What's up, guys?
Okay, so
Yeah.
we got Phil Becker. Are you good on this camera?
I don't know, dude. This is your setup.
Pull up here a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make sure you get your face
So
in
everybody,
there.
this is our boss.
This is our boss. We've talked about you on numerous episodes.
Oh, good.
Good things, of course.
Good. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
And you just got back. Well, I say you just got back, but you
Like a
went
month ago,
to-
right?
About a month ago.
Yeah, I feel like we're like super late to the party because like I go on YouTube and there's like all these bloggers and vloggers talking about the Kanye
Yeah.
Wyoming thing. It's like, hey, come tell us about your Wyoming thing, Phil, a month later. But yeah, I can tell you
Yeah,
the
no,
story.
it's impromptu.
Yeah. Sure. So, obviously, everyone knows this at this point. Kanye did a listening party in Wyoming,
Yes.
and it was kind of rushed, to say the least. So, I think it was like Wednesday. I got a phone call from the team at Def Jam, and they're like, "Hey, we're doing a thing with Kanye out in Wyoming. It's a listening party for his album. Can you get on a plane tonight at midnight?" And this is like 3:00, right? I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I can't do that. But they were like really persistent. They're like, this is something you really need to see. We think it's going to be really special. What if you got on like a 6 a.m. out of Portland? And I'm like, look, I got kids to get to school, da 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 da.
and they kept on it. And so I was like, this seems like something they really care about, because clearly I am not important. So there must be something they want people to see. So then we found like a 7 or so that I was able to get on. So it was Portland to L.A., and then in L.A., Kanye had chartered 3 different planes, one of which was in L.A., one in New York, and one in New Jersey. And so depending on what part you were closest to, you'd go to that plane. So I get there, and it's funny because, like, in the email, I had all this information about it, and they were like, we'll be flying private from L.A. to Jackson Hole, Wyoming. But it wasn't private. It was a chartered plane, right? So the difference between private and chartered is still governed by the FAA.
Yeah.
Well, people thought they were flying private. So what do they show up at the airport with? Like drugs.
Yeah.
And there's people that are like on the do not fly list.
Congratulations. You played yourself.
And so they're like, you're not allowed on this. And by the way, how do you end up invited to a Kanye party and you're on the do not fly list? Like, what have you done
To be on the
to
do
be
not
on
fly
that,
list.
right? So anyhow, we get on the plane, and I was like rushing to get there because they're like, flight leaves at 11, and so I'm flying, well, I'm literally flying, but I'm flying through the airport, and then I get on the plane, and then we just sit there for over an hour and a half. And I noticed that on the plane, it's all full of like social influencers and YouTubers and like the No Jumper guy. You know, if you ever watch his channel, he's on there. And like this directly in the seat in front of me, little Yachty's there with
Like
his braids and his pizza box.
I'm wondering why we didn't get an invite.
Yeah,
as
it's
influencers.
weird. It's the weirdest thing. He couldn't even get the Kanye hoodie. He didn't even get the sweatshirt. So we finally leave, and Tino's with me. I'm sitting with Tino on the plane, and we go, and we land, and then all 3 planes land like around the same time.
Do you think that was on purpose? Do you think they delayed everybody so they'd all be there?
No, I think they just didn't, like, because it's a chartered plane, you didn't want to leave anybody. It was just like, well, we leave when we leave,
Yeah.
And so we land in Jackson Hole, and like that's a tiny, tiny, tiny town and a tiny, tiny airport. And he's got 3 like 737s that he's bringing into this airport, right? And Tino's like super afraid of flying, and I was like, "Yo, man, like this plane is kind of too big for this runway." And he's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "I think we might end up in that field." So we do that, and we did come kind of close. It was like, okay. So we land, and you've got like, basically 200 people in Yeezys and joggers and ripped jeans walking through cowboy land, right? Yeah. And like the police are like, what is going on? And who are all these people? And so then you get on these charter buses, and because it was so like last minute, you didn't even know where you were staying. You didn't know if you even had a place. And so you would just like give them your last name, and they would go, okay, well, you get on this bus or you get on this bus. And so I'm on this bus, and they're like, they drop me off at the hotel. And at this point, it's like 6:25, and I've been up since 4 a.m. to try to get there.
To get to the airport.
And they're like, okay, bus leaves at 6:45. I'm like, I got 20 minutes. So I run upstairs, charge my phone, brush my teeth, and, run back downstairs. And so then we leave to go to this ranch where Kanye is going to play the album for everybody. And it's like way out there, like a good hour outside of middle of nowhere. And like, a lot of times when you listen to someone's album, like they take your cell phone, you sign a like a non-disclosure agreement. And there was none of that. He wanted the social reach of everybody. He wanted you tweeting and IG in it and the whole deal. And it was at this ranch, and there's like these little bars set up everywhere, and a bunch of campfires, and
but they also
horses.
They also do listening parties like a week or so before.
Yeah, but this one
was the night before, so it's like hype. Like,
so when we were done, the album was out.
Yeah,
that was the way it was laid out, right?
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So we're walking around, and the way I describe this is like, I want you to think of like a hip hop wedding reception. Like that's the setup. Like everybody's in a big barn. There's food and tables and everything.
Open bar.
But it's also like I'm in Wyoming.
Yeah.
So Kanye was not yet there, but sometimes when you go to these things, like you're waiting forever for the artist. He was there rather quickly after we got there. And the way I knew he was there was all of a sudden, all these drones went up in the air. And all these drones were like flying in unison, like they're all, connected. And so I'm like, they're filming. He must be here. So he comes and he walks up and he, comes up towards the ranch and like he's in no hurry. In a good way, and a lot of times when you go to these things, it's like, oh yeah, Phil, step up. Oh yeah, meet Rihanna again. How you doing? Take a picture.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Next.
Right. This was not like that. He was like walking through the room, stopping, talking to people. How have you been? I hope you like the album. Let you ask anything you wanted. There was no, there was security and like the kind of guys that look like, like they're on Homeland and they'll break your neck or something.
Yeah.
but they're like hidden in the back and there's no like rush.
Yeah.
And because he was happy and because he wasn't rushed and because he was in this comfortable space, the whole party sort of felt like that, right?
Yeah.
So went up, said hi, talked to him about the last time that I had met him. He was doing a thing at in Chicago for Big Brothers Big Sisters and a bunch of schools. And like a lot of times what people don't know about him was like this thing that I went to, he was just having school kids come to the House of Blues to see like his sound check and giving them backpacks and giving them skateboards. I remember him giving away Xboxes. He paid for all of their books.
That's
So this is a guy that I think, is oftentimes misunderstood.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And
100%.
And I think that if you don't understand how someone created something, you can't understand the steps they took to create it. Therefore, you can't understand who they are as a person sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But he was great. Totally fine. I have a really creepy picture. We took a couple pictures together, but I have one where it looks like somebody sent it to me. It was like on the internet, and it looks like I'm like going to assassinate him. Like you just see the back of my head, and like I'm in this camo coat, and you just see him right there. It's like shot over my shoulder. It looks like when somebody walked up to I'm forgetting the scene. Where I don't even remember. So anyways, I got that picture. And he was great, said hi, talked, the whole thing. And then I start to notice that like the whole room is full of different artists and celebrities, right? And so like 2 Chainz is over there and Big Sean is over here and Nas is over there and
Yachty.
Yachty, my plane mate is over there. Yeah.
Jonah Hill was there.
And Jonah Hill for no apparent reason, and Chris Rock is there. And there's like these merch tables in the back, and they have all these, like Wyoming artwork on them and stuff. And you just like the one that Clay has that you don't have. And you just walk up and you just go, hey, can I get the orange one in large or the hat in black or what have you? And it's really interesting because as he had all these celebrities wearing this merch as he was streaming the party, he was also selling the very merch that you see.
Yeah.
So it's
like through the stream link?
Like through the stream link, right? So it's very strategic on how
He'd be like, oh, look what they're wearing. I can buy it right here.
Right, you can buy it right now. And so then I'm like, well, I bet you Kim's here somewhere, right? And so I see Kim Kardashian as close as I am to you on like a picnic table. And so she's sitting there with 2 Chainz eating sour Skittles. Because,
the details.
Kim Kardashian sitting next to 2 Chainz eating sour Skittles while his little Frenchie's there, right?
Oh,
He's brought his dog, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, nobody's talking to her. And there's a space next to her on the picnic table. I'm going to go talk to her, right? So I just go over and introduce myself. And, we start talking. And she's like, have you been to Wyoming before? And I was like, no, I've been to Montana, but this is very similar. And she's like, I hope you like it. Thanks for supporting my husband's music. I appreciate that you're here. And she's very pretty, but, it's one of those things where, like she looks a little different in real life than you think in pictures. And I noticed that her makeup was very matte, very flat in its finish.
White.
Which looking back now, I understand is actually done like a matte finish for photos. That's why she does it. So when you see her in pictures, it looks better in pictures.
What an interesting idea. Doing your makeup, because like the normal woman, I'm assuming, does their makeup to just be seen in person.
Right.
But someone like Kim Kardashian, if you have to like just forget what you look like in real life
And prep it for photos, right?
Yeah, because you know.
So
So
she
she-
get flashed all day.
Yeah. And so she's like, would you like to get a picture? And I was like, yes.
Yes, please.
So she's like, okay. And so I give my phone to some, security guy that looks like he's, wants to kill me. And he takes a picture and she's like, let's take a couple more in case you don't like those. I was like, this is great. Right? So she does a couple more pictures and then she's like, all right, let me see. And so we get the phone and we're like swiping through the pictures together. And she's like, well, thanks so much for coming. I appreciate it. And I was like, maybe the two of them together are just misunderstood. Maybe that's what binds them together. You got to remember 2 days before that, she's with the president in the White House, and he's, saying and doing the things that he does. And maybe, like there's couples that have like trauma bonds where they go through trauma together and they get close. Maybe they both live in this world of like, I'm under the microscope, everything I do.
Literally everything.
Everything. So maybe that's the thing, right? So, I talked to her. I talked to 2 Chainz. He had zero interest in talking to me whatsoever.
2 Chainz.
I was like, okay, cool, bro. Nice to see you again. It was kind of underwhelming. His dog was cool. So
Did you get his dog's name?
I did not. Everyone knew about his dog though, except me. They're like, oh, that's so and so. Like his dog is a famous Frenchie.
Has its own Instagram.
Yeah,
probably.
I was like, okay.
Jeez.
So, then I saw Fabulous, saw a bunch of different people, and then I saw Chris Rock, and I was like, you know what? I'm a Chris Rock fan. I'm gonna go introduce myself. And so there's a guy in front of me, and he was like, hey Chris, can I get a picture? And Chris Rock goes, nah, man, I'm good. So I'm like, wow, Chris Rock just dusted this guy. If I go ask for a picture, I'm gonna get that. No, man, I'm good, and I'm gonna get dusted again, right?
Yeah.
So I let that lie.
Yeah.
And then we went outside, and Kanye played the album. And when you watch online, like when you see him dancing around the fire pit, off to the corner, there's a series of monitors. Okay, and there's actually someone directing and taking shots. And I see like there'll be like a hole because there's not a lot of people there. There'll be a hole in a shot. And you'll almost see them like say, okay, we'll push Big Sean to the left. Sean steps forward. There's Sean. He's wearing the hoodie, the very hoodie that you can buy. It was very orchestrated, very well done. Like
That's so cool.
it was a really cool thing to watch. Not knowing later on then that they'd have the same type of party for Cudi, the same type of party for Nas, and that sort of thing.
And Tiana last night.
Tiana Taylor last
Oh,
night.
and Tiana Taylor last night, yeah. And she was there, by the way.
Yeah.
She was there, right? And then what's the show that she's on? The hip hop show. It was like a TV show, and she was like an aspiring rapper.
I don't
know.
No idea.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah, like she was like one of the main girls.
Is it Basketball Wives?
No. It's based off of the book that what's his name wrote. Oh my gosh.
Tiana Taylor's show. Let me see.
No, it was like it's
Tiana and Iman.
It's a TV show. It was on like BET or VH1 for a while.
We don't have.
There's a book. There's a book called The Big Payback.
The Big Payback.
The TV show is based off the book called The Big Payback. Anyway, this is the point of the very story. I wanted to go talk to her about that show because I like that show, but I can't even remember the name of the show. So I was like, I'm going to go up and be like, I liked you in the Fade video. Like, what am I going to say, right? What am I going to say?
Everybody liked her.
Right? So
That's cool.
The
so-
Breaks?
no.
No.
Yeah.
The Breaks?
The Breaks, yeah.
On VH1.
A little Curtis Blow reference there if you know that means.
Yeah. No, I know that.
So then party's over and the police are like, all right, everyone needs to go. There's noise ordinances around here. I'm like, no one can hear us. We're in the middle of nowhere. So we get back on these buses and there's these 2 guys sitting to my left that are like professional paparazzi basically, right? And I can't tell who they work for, but they're really drunk. And they're really right. They're really drunk. They look like and they're like, yo man, I got the money shot right here. Here's here's Nas with Ye. And they're like going through their phone and they're like, yeah, we're going to get money for this one. And I'm like, wow, these guys are literally here to push this content to make this money. So they didn't know who anybody was, though. So they were like, excuse me, do you know who that is? And I'm like, yeah, that's Nas. And so they're labeling that.
They didn't know who Nas was?
And they're like, who's that? I'm like, that's Lil Yachty. And they're labeling that. And they're like, who's that? And I'm like, Big Sean.
How do you even have that job?
And I see the guy type in his phone, Big Sean, SHAWN. And I go, no. It's SEAN. And that's their job. And they're like annihilatedly drunk, right? So I decide I'm going to try to, I didn't even tell you guys this part. I'm going to get them to give me those photos, right? And so I was like, hey, bro, why don't you text me some of those pictures? And he
they were taking them on their phone?
Well, they had them on their phone. I don't know what they took them on. And he was like, no, that's us giving away money. I'm like, okay. So we pull up, and now we're in town, and the bus driver goes, okay, so there's this bar called Cowboy Bar, which in Jackson Hole is like the bar, which is about the size of this room.
Imagine.
And they're like, official after party here at Cowboy Bar. And so the two drunk guys get off the bus, and you can see inside the bar. And I'm like, yep, there's Kanye right there. Yeah, there's Big Sean right, just chilling in this bar. Jonah Hill still wandering around. And so and they're like, do you want to get off and go to the after party? And at this point now, it's like 1:30, 2 o'clock.
Been up for
And I've been up since 4, and I was like, no, I'm good. So
Can't do it.
go to bed. Next morning, get up, go to the airport, get back on the charter plane, which again waits for everybody to arrive, but it was fine. It was cool. And then a semi truck pulls up full of Yeezys, and everybody gets a pair of the new 750s. So if you look at it, you've got it checking all the boxes. Okay, it's a destination. The celebrities that you expect to be there are there.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the opportunity to experience an artist's craft with the artist. You've got a bunch of people with all sorts of social influence and voice, right? That can promote that album upon its release. You've got the merchandise that corresponds with the album released in real time. You've got the celebrities wearing the merchandise that he's selling at that moment, right? You've got all sorts of news generated from the event. You've got an after party where the story continues. You've got chartered planes to make people talk about it. You've got that last minute rush to hurry up and feel like you're invited to something, right? That emergency.
I think that was even like
it might have been, right?
Yeah.
You've got the takeaway, the walk away gift is here's a pair of Yeezys while you sit on a plane. I mean, maybe the entire whole concept of Kanye is perfectly orchestrated, and we just sit around and go, "What's wrong with him?"
Yeah.
Maybe he's got it all figured out, and we don't. At least in that sense, I'm not justifying some of his
all
statements.
The crazy, yeah.
Right. But I watched him do an interview when he was there, and he talked about Michael Jackson, and he talked about going to the Michael Jackson archives and seeing all the Michael Jackson clothes that had 777 on it and what that meant. Well, look at this. How many songs were on the Kanye album?
7.
How many songs were on the Nas album?
7. Yeah.
Right. And I think Kanye is Michael Jackson never really slept in an oxygen tank. He knew that got headlines. He didn't really have the Elephant Man's bones. He knew that got headlines, right? Is Kanye, one of Kanye's biggest influences he talks about is Steve Jobs, right? Is Kanye part Steve Jobs, part Michael Jackson, part P.T. Barnum? I
love that.
Is that what he is? And I think maybe he is. And we just stop and we try to fit Kanye into our reality instead of saying that maybe he just lives in a different world.
Definitely lives in a different world.
So moral of the story is you get the hoodie and Mijo doesn't. Woo!
I'm always
Have you just been
2.
sitting on those, or do they get delivered?
So I got a couple while I was there, and then they just showed up. So
they shipped them later?
Yeah, they just shipped them. So
And you just get to watch me.
What size is that anyways?
2X. Yeah, they're all 2Xs, by the way. I'm like, what am I going to do with this?
Yeah, no, this is 2X.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, Lo has a 2X.
Ice has a 2X.
2X.
Everybody has a 2X but you.
I know a guy. We'll get you one.
That's so cool, though.
Yeah.
That would be like if you could give that away as a radio promotion.
Oh,
That trip.
crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Changed somebody's life.
And the thing is, like, if you think about it, all the people that he had there are all in some capacity an influencer or a person of voice, right?
Smart move.
He put together something that even jaded media people want to go to and want to talk about.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Except one, Ebro. I ain't going.
Look, that's all right. Listen, I get Ebro. I totally understand what he's about. I text him.
He wanted to go.
I might even have it. I text him and I was like, "Hey man, are you coming to Wyoming?"
Smiley face.
And he no, because I didn't think about the whole thing. And so he's like, no, but should be fun. And so I wrote back and said, "I wish you were here." And he wrote back and said, "Some of us have work to do." I was like, all right, 2 points for you, bro.
Yeah.
Some of us have work to do. Get out of here, you bro.
Yeah. It's all in the, I guess, like you said, it's all this orchestration, but even the smallest details, like one of the details I find fascinating is like it's all bright colors because it was at night.
Yeah, all the sweatshirts
Orange,
are neon
yellow,
colors. So
green.
So when you're filming it at night, you see the people
Just
on
like,
camera.
that's
I'm
so
glad
cool.
I got the black one though.
I'd wear
But
orange.
even that has like the neon
yeah,
green
yeah,
and the
like-
neon yellow and all that.
Did you see those mountains when you were there?
Yeah, that's right outside where we were.
The ranch?
Yeah, right outside the
That's so
ranch.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna flex.
But here's the one thing that I didn't understand. So Kim tweeted this thing that said something along the lines, and I could be misspeaking, but something along the lines of Kanye took the artwork, the photo for his album art on the way to the listening party. No, because that photo was already on all the merch that was printed and being handed to
sale.
everybody.
Yeah.
So I don't.
I wonder if anyone else put that together.
Or maybe I just got the facts wrong, but but again, going back to, is it part of a narrative? Is it part of a story? And by the way, why does it have to be real? Why can't it be part of a story? Why does the thing that always cracks me up is like in hip hop, people go, well, this person ghost wrote for this person, or this person didn't really write these lyrics. So what? Is it good?
Yeah.
Like, you don't go up to Leonardo DiCaprio and go, "Hey man, you didn't write this script. Even though you won an Oscar and you're my favorite actor, you didn't write it."
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't understand. It makes zero sense to me. Do I think Cardi B wrote everything on her album? No. Do I care? No. Do I love the album? Yes.
Is it a hit? Yeah.
Who cares if someone else wrote it? Someone else. Look, here's the truth.
I think it goes to the history of hip hop, though. Like its credibility of like, these are my words and this is my story, rather
But
than
if you're
like,
not saying that, then it doesn't matter. If you're just like, oh, put out an album and you don't say anything about it.
yeah. But I think if you want to be taken as a credible like hip hop artist, you know.
But what I'm asking is, and I see why you say that, and that's very much a thing, right? But why does that art form get a different set of rules than another? Because it used to be that way?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess integrity. Keep
Phones used to have buttons on them. You want one of those? Like, why?
Yeah,
You
and
know?
people write songs for different people all the time. Some people are.
And by the way, in every other format of music, because
fine.
I have stations in all formats, it's fine.
Yeah. No, like my favorite band is Fish, and like half of
I'm
their
sorry to hear
songs, this guy named Tom Marshall wrote their songs. He just wrote them, and then they put the music to them.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think we overthink that.
We do.
But it was a great experience. Thank you to Def Jam for letting me come. Noah, Nikki, and anybody else. I probably was like an alternate, right? Like they're like, oh man, Michael Martin's got the flu. I guess we'll call Phil.
Oh, whatever.
But it was cool. So thanks.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's so cool.
Yeah, next time we'll be, I guess our invites got, just if I can verify my email if my phone number.
Yeah.
Get an invite.
Well, okay, guys, some of us have work to do.
Oh, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Phil Becker.
Yeah. Claps. You got claps on there?
Oh, I do got claps.
Phil's got the clap.
Where's the claps? I don't see it. There they are.
So that's our boss.
That was our boss with the cool Kanye story. I'm gonna stop did it record the whole time? Oh, it did. Perfect.
Yeah. Got a hoodie, man.
I do got a hoodie. I'm gonna put it on right now.
You didn't even know who Kanye was until 2 years ago.
That's
Oh, dude, Holly's gonna be so pissed.
the flags, dude. Did it mess my hair up?
What hair?
So let's talk about the hair now.
We got time.
Yeah, we got time. We'll do. I like the way it's
just flowing.
The podcast is flowing.
So
Talked about me getting robbed.
So
I
I've
keep
been
saying me getting robbed. I didn't get robbed. Had the robbery story. We had the Kanye story, which was dope.
No,
You got something?
We've been saying like talking about like cutting your hair for a while now. Because
My
I
hair?
think what?
My hair?
Yeah. Because we had this discussion like maybe 2 weeks ago saying I think you should just shave it like I do. Like I usually wear a hat on here, like, but I think you'd look fine. You said, look at the way I look. I look like a white supremacist. You're wearing a Kanye. Well, now you're wearing a Kanye.
You're taking that way out of context.
You said that to my face.
Yeah, but you said it completely wrong. Can I correct you?
Okay, go for it.
So I was talking about getting my hair cut. I was like, man, I want to do like a mohawk, or I just want to like take it shorter, like I'm going bald. And you're like, dude, just shave it. I was like, dude, I'm not gonna shave it. I said I'll look like a white supremacist.
Yeah.
And you were like, no, you won't. No, you won't. But yeah, no, dude, I'm very, very vanilla white, like ghostly white. I have blonde hair and blue eyes. I'm not gonna buzz cut my hair.
You're damn close to it.
It's close.
So what made you do it yesterday?
I don't know. I was just looking.
We had a rough day.
I was
had a
looking
rough
at my
day yesterday.
corners here, and I was like, man, my hair's too long. It looks like I'm trying to like cover it up. I was like, I'm just gonna fucking go home.
Is my camera still going, by the way?
Yeah,
Okay. It stopped for a while.
I know, but it was while he was talking, so you're good. Yeah. So I was just like, man, fuck it. I'm gonna go live and cut my hair on my own, because I knew that with the longest guard, the inch-long guard, that I could not like mess up like the fade or whatever. But yeah, it's short. Girlfriend doesn't like it, so
I like it. I think you could have gotten shorter.
I feel like maybe I could have too.
Tonight, it's Friday night.
I don't know.
Because that guard, like you have a smaller guard, right? That's not the only guard you have on.
That was the largest guard that I
Yeah,
had.
no, I'm saying like you have a
Yeah,
smaller.
they go down.
Yeah. We should take it one more down.
One more down?
See how it goes. See, keep going until you're like, this is it.
Yeah. I'm scared. It's just hair,
You've been
though.
scared all week, apparently.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, it'll grow back or
Yeah,
not.
it's
I
not-
mean, if anything,
I'm going to post this on Instagram.
yeah.
How jealous are you?
I'm pretty salty inside.
Dude, he walked in. He was like, pick a number. I was like, oh,
I didn't
man.
understand what he meant by number. Like, you write down the number.
He said, pick a number.
No, he said you should write down the number next time.
No, he was saying that he should have, because how do we know he didn't just like make the number
Oh,
up?
yeah.
But it's because he likes me better.
Yeah, that's obvious. Go! And he goes, technically you're closer. No, obviously he's closer by 2 numbers. I'm 4 away, he's 2 away.
Yeah, I didn't understand what he meant by
Technically.
that.
But yeah. What do we got going on this weekend? You got your shows.
Yeah, so I am
We
going
didn't
be
go
on
to
the
the
radio.
Oh, we talked about it last week, but we were supposed to go to a tap house last weekend, but you got moved to this weekend, so we're
Got
doing
moved to
that.
this weekend. So yeah, hold on, let me look it up so we can say where we're actually going.
It's the Traveling Tap House. Remember? It's off Mississippi.
Yeah, I just want to get a vibe for it.
It looks cool.
Oh, it does look cool.
Yeah.
So the Traveling Tap House.
Mhm.
It's like this. It's kind of like a beer garden type
Yeah.
thing.
It has like gravel and benches and stuff like that.
And
I'm also going hiking. I'm going to these waterfalls.
oh yeah, it has games and stuff.
Yeah.
So if you're listening in Oklahoma City, imagine like a small blue garden.
Whatever. That
Yeah.
is.
This is cool. Yeah, you're going hiking. Where are you going hiking at?
Abiqua Falls.
Let me look it
Abiqua. It's a Native American term. I don't know how to say it. Abiqua or Abiqua.
Let me see where this is.
But yeah. It has
Oh, that's nice. That's pretty cool.
yeah.
Is
And
that
then
part of the gorge, or
and then oh shit. Huge news. Me and Clay started a show.
Clay and I.
Whatever. Me and Clay started a new show. It's our first show as roommates. It's Westworld. If
I
you're not
thought you meant that we started like a show. I was like,
No.
what are you
We
talking
started a TV show. It's Westworld on HBO. We blew through the first season.
in
4
4
days.
days. Yeah, and they're hour-long episodes.
They're
There's
hour-long.
10
We did
episodes.
10 hours of shows this week in
I've
4
been going to
days.
bed every night at like
Min one. It is phenomenal. Everybody needs to go watch Westworld. It is the biggest mind fuck.
Dude. And whenever I almost segued into Westworld whenever Phil was in here, and he said
I'm not of this world.
no, he was like, I forget the actual phrase, but he was like, what if it all is just like part of a show? He's like, what's wrong with that? And I was like, Westworld. And I almost been like, you ever watch Westworld?
We should ask him. He might.
Damn.
Yeah. Go watch Westworld. It is
Hold on. Let's.
phenomenal.
Okay, so for
I don't know how to describe
here,
it.
I'll take a stab. at
Okay.
it. So Westworld is it's a series about essentially these people create robots, but they're extremely lifelike. Like they bleed. They do everything that like a normal human does.
Sex, eat,
drink. Yeah. And these people created a theme park called Westworld where all of these robots live. And they are, it's like a, it's like a Western theme type thing. So like everybody's riding horses and they have the saloon and like whatever. And so like these really rich people pay to go to this theme park and they can do whatever they want and they can't get hurt. So if they want to go there and just murder all the robots, they can do that. They want to go there and fuck the robots, they can do that. And they're all of the robots' storylines like intermingle with each other. So whatever the person that's visiting decides to do, there's a storyline that like matches up and an adventure for them to go on.
Yeah.
And so, sounds cool. Sounds like it's like, oh yeah, that's a cool idea. But it gets very hairy and the robots, not without like giving too much away if you haven't seen it, but the robots start to like develop their own memories.
Well, there's
their own
some of the
consciousness.
first generation robots are still in there. So there's robots that are there from when the park first opened. And they were built differently than the newer models.
Well, no, I was just giving like an overall sense of like what was it about.
Essentially, the word is bicameralism. Go look it up on Wikipedia.
What is it?
It's a psychology term, bicameralism.
Okay.
And it's essentially like the theory that the brain obviously has two hemispheres, and early brains, one hemisphere got information and processed it and then would have to transfer it over to the other hemisphere, I don't know which hemisphere.
Oh, the robot?
No, humans.
Oh.
And it's a theory that's how our brains developed. And it's like, how would one hemisphere take that information and use it to make action? And so they would hear, because it was like, remember there was a scene where one of the hosts or robots is in the church and all the people are talking to themselves, all the other robots. And it's like, bicameralism is a theory of like, that's why there was like gods and spirits and stuff like that, because people were hearing voices in their own head of how to process the information. And that's how Neanderthals and came up with gods and spirits and the god of corn. Like, how do I process corn? This voice is telling me how to process corn, or like how to grow corn, or how to build a wheel and things like that. And then eventually our brains fully function, and it's like, oh, it's not somebody else talking.
Would you call that like your conscience too?
Essentially, yeah.
Weird.
So it's a crazy ass show.
It's a mind fuck.
It's
for sure.
a total mind fuck. Bicameralism. I read it this week because I was so intrigued. But
Yeah,
Westworld,
if you have HBO, check out Westworld.
we'll probably be done with season 2 by like Tuesday.
So last night we watched the first episode of season 2.
Yeah, I
And
fell
there's
asleep.
10 episodes.
Yeah, 10 episodes.
Oh yeah, so we'll
And it's on episode 9. I think episode 10 airs this weekend. So
like in real time.
in real time.
So by Sunday night, I feel like we'll be at like 6
Yeah,
or 7.
absolutely. I need to rewatch season or episode 1.
Mijo
'cause
fell asleep last
I fell
night.
asleep. It was like 12:30. I was like, it's time.
I just get I do so much tobacco when I'm watching that show. 'Cause
Oh,
I'm just
dude.
like, to keep from like biting
Dude,
my
I
nails. I'm just
ate like a third of a bag of Cheetos. I put some tobacco, bro. I was freaking out, man.
it's definitely high
Dude,
tension.
I
like,
chugged
high
all
stress.
my whole bottle of water. Like, I was chewing my nails. It was bad. Anxiety.
I think we should get some vodka and watch it tonight.
I'm on a budget. We'll see. I need to check my bank account.
Vodka is like one of the cheapest alcohols you
I
can
know.
get.
Still though, I still got to put gas in my car to go hiking tomorrow,
Oh,
and I got a
you're
dentist
taking your
appointment next
car?
week. I got to pay for my dentist appointment. I forgot about that.
Damn, we got to just getting a cleaning.
No, I got a cavity. It's my first cavity in like 8 years.
Damn, I've only had one cavity in my life.
I've had a few.
You can see like the filling.
I don't care. I'm not looking at your mouth.
I'm sitting here going,
Anyways, have a great weekend.
are we done? Are we just wrapping up? Okay.
Yeah, have a great weekend. Go watch Westworld. Hit our socials. At Magic Mijo is my personal. What's your personals?
Claybird PDX.
And make sure to follow us on our
Fuck.
our podcast socials, TSITR PDX. We do live stories, put up
Instagram,
pictures.
Twitter.
You'll see Clay's sweater. And if you want to email us, Or if you want to like be a guest on the show, if you want to like set
Topics we talk about.
up topics, yeah. If you don't like it,
No, don't.
no, I'm saying like if you don't like what we're talking about and you want to give us something to talk about, like something
you
that's
think
bothering
something's
you,
interesting, you're like,
exactly.
hey, maybe
That's what I
that'd be
meant. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
TSITRpodcast@gmail.com.
That's it.
And that's
And
it.
as always, thanks for all the people that have been hitting my Venmo. Jason from Missouri, Tyler from Massachusetts. Thank you for hitting my Venmo.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Yo.
It's Iculus12. Send me something and I'll shout you. I'm just like on camera. I'm just that dude sitting outside of the fucking, all those sides.
I sitting outside of McDonald's.
Yeah. Anything helps. And no, we're not making fun of homeless people, so shut up.
Anyways, have a great weekend. We love you. Thank you for listening. And we'll see you next week.
Love.